Cyprus football, the passion, the thrill. The passion, the thrill. The stadiums roar, you can feel the chill. You can feel the chill. The teams are ready, the battles will start. The battles will start with dreams of glory, they'll play with heart.
Kalimera, καλό μεσημέρι, καλό βράδυ, καλησπέρα, καληνύχτα. Whatever time you're watching or listening to this is Mappa. I'm still Thasso is here, and apologies, boys and girls, for the late start. But something fell on our lap this evening.
Yeah.
And we had to prioritize a little bit for the benefit of the show, clearly. But Thasso, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing fine, man. Work has been kicking my ass, but we finished the project. So it means that, as you can see, can people see my eyes now? They're
No bags.
Well, I won't say there's no bags. There's less.
Less bags.
I've unloaded some of the baggage. So now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Good. I look like a younger version of myself. How are you? How are you doing, sir?
Tired, man. I'm tired. I need another holiday.
Yeah. You've been a very busy boy.
Very, very indeed. But we're going to get to that in a bit because there's a lot to go through tonight. And I think we should begin where we kind of left off the last time on this show, because we were talking about the situation involving Papastavros' statement and then Fanis Magridi's post, which obviously he's the journalist who was denied a couple of awards allegedly by the CFA.
The intervention of the CFA.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Well, tonight he released a statement and he tagged us on Twitter. So we were kind of panicking. We didn't know what we were going to do. And I thought, you know what? What's the point in sitting here translating it all when you could just use the power of AI? So for the next 4 minutes and 53 seconds, we have his full statement. And apologies in advance, but I had to add a bit of humor to this. Thasso, may I?
Yes, you may.
Let's go. God.
My findings from a 9-year investigation into the potential conflict of interest involving Georgios Koumas in Cypriot football are recorded in the memorandum I submitted today to the Parliamentary Committee on Institutions. The document includes revelations and evidence of interventions, with more publications to follow. The undersigned hereby submits a written account of their positions on the matter currently before the committee. I must clarify that I have corresponding documentation to support everything I have recorded. I am willing to submit most of this evidence to the committee upon request. Revelations about the conflict of interest. Initially, I believe it is necessary to outline the history of the revelations concerning the potential conflict of interest involving businessman Georgios Koumas. The investigation was prompted by a June 2014 Auditor General report mentioning an official from the Cyprus Football Association, CFA, who was conducting transactions with CYTA through 4 companies based in Seychelles and the Virgin Islands. The specific individual was not named. The report urged CYTA to reassess the funds allocated for TV rights. The Seychelles and Virgin Islands companies. From that point on, I began investigating the matter. 4 years later, we obtained 4 extensive files related to these companies. All of them were tied to Mr. Georgios Koumas, and on the 17th of September 2018, we disclosed their existence, 3 companies in Seychelles and 1 in the Virgin Islands. We also uncovered documents showing these companies were selling television rights worth millions to CYTA, raising the issue of a conflict of interest in public discussion not only from a moral standpoint but also under the Cyprus Sports Organization, KOA, law. This law explicitly states that no one may make decisions regarding a sport they are involved in while also having financial interests in it. The contracts and invoices we exposed were signed when Mr. Koumas was serving as deputy chairman of the CFA. Additionally, our reports highlighted that Mr. Koumas negotiated with Sita Vision in a dual capacity, as a businessman selling television rights and as a CFA official managing the broadcast rights of Cypriot teams. We uncovered further findings about these activities, including contracts related to the Slovak and Bulgarian leagues. Cyprus national team and Apoel. On the 10th of February 2020, we revealed that Mr. Koumas was selling television rights related to the Cyprus national team and Apoel to CYTA. He did so in his capacity as a businessman while simultaneously making decisions about the national team and Apoel in another capacity. Triple conflict of interest. According to the Ethics and Sports Protection Committee, the investigation continued, and on the 28th of September 2023, we disclosed in a front-page story in Phililivdas the findings of the investigating officers of the Ethics and Sports Protection Committee. Investigators Elias Stefano and Efthymios Th. Efthymiou concluded that there were findings, testimonies suggesting a potential triple conflict of interest in Mr. Kumas' case. Their investigation built upon our disclosures. Among other things, testimony indicated that Mr. Kumas distributed funds from CFA TV arbitrarily, potentially even manipulating the league. Allegedly producing TV content on behalf of CFA 2 days later, on the 30th of September 2023, we revealed on our website, operatoritis.com.cy, that investigators had received testimony stating that while Georgios Kumas was CFA president, he was also the businessman behind the company awarded the 2019 contract for CFA television productions. This entity, ABCBC Broadcasting Corporation Limited, was linked to Kumas despite his denial during a June 2023 parliamentary committee hearing. His denial was echoed by Mr. Avramides, one of ABC's directors, on the 30th of September 2023. Full respect for all parties, we must emphasize that we never made accusations against Mr. Kumas. We reported documented, indisputable facts, often confirmed by him. At the same time, we treated him with absolute respect and ensured his perspectives were published. The Journalism Award controversy and CFA interference, our investigative work from 2014 to late 2023, became a nominee for a Pan-Cyprian Journalism Award. Despite initially being informed that our work ranked first in the feature investigation category, CFA interference led to the suspension of the award. Critique of the YAAAAAAAAS actions. The handling of the situation by the Cyprus Sports Writers Association, YAAAAAAAAS, raises serious questions. Their decision to suspend the award undermines the independence of journalism and creates a troubling precedent. The role of journalistic work is distinct from criminal investigations. Journalists bring issues into public discourse, while prosecutors and judges handle legal determinations. By conflating these roles, the principles of press freedom are compromised. In conclusion, our investigation exposed verifiable facts. The potential conflict of interest regarding Georgios Kumas was presented responsibly and transparently, always emphasizing that any final determinations lay with the appropriate authorities.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to pass through, isn't there? There's
Yes.
So, a lot of that we already knew. So obviously, the investigation by Makridis was started in 2014, and it started off by having a look at what Kumas was doing as vice president of the CFA at the time, where he seems to have negotiated some contracts as a representative of the Cyprus FA, but also as somebody producing the video content being set out by the Cyprus FA.
Yep.
The big one there is obviously as well that he was negotiating fees with SIDA as Cyprus FA representative for the national team and Abuel, but at the same time also negotiating the price on the other side as the person or the company that's producing the content in the first place.
Yep, and I think the other alarming thing is where he says potentially even manipulating the league.
There you go. Yeah.
Now.
Yep.
Now.
Very dangerous stuff.
Now.
Very dangerous stuff.
Well, listen, we've known for a long time that the Cypriot League hasn't been the most clean cut, but this, I think, is just the beginning. Because he's been very, very open with all of this. Very open with all of this. He's put dates as a journalist would, as a true professional journalist would. But he's thrown in other names as well.
Yeah.
And boy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this game.
Well, I mean, it's not just that. He's provided the responses that Kumas had provided when they went to him to ask for comment. We found this out. What do you have to comment?
Yep.
And he says in there that Gomez has actually responded a couple of times to say, for instance, that yes, we're aware of this occurring, but however, the competent authorities that are looking into it have had no comment. Yeah. And then there's other things as well. For instance, so they mentioned Efthimios there.
Yes.
You know, is the guy from the CESS. You know, with the yeah,
Yes.
exactly, with the mustache that always like to go on TV to be like, oh, we're investigating so and so and so and so, and by going on TV and saying that they're investigating who they're investigating, he purges the investigation, and it gets thrown in the bin.
Yep.
Yeah, which is
Yep.
why it all went quiet about Gumas and that big, massive. I think Magridis called it voluminous in his statement. Set of files.
Yep.
So
6,000 pages, right?
that's why nothing's happened about it since then, because people like Efthimios, instead of doing his job, goes out on TV to be like, oh, look at this juicy bit of thing that we're dealing with. Yeah.
But what I find quite amusing about this is he says, we emphasize that we never made accusations against Mr. Kumar. We reported documented, indisputable facts, often confirmed by him.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Someone is Teflon.
Yeah. And
He's bulletproof.
And the real, again, like we talked about last time, the real kind of like you know, real gabagool kind of thing that the Cyprus FA did. It's been like, yeah, we didn't tell them to cancel the award. We just said we were disappointed with the giving the award to the guy, and then obviously the legal representative of the Cypriot Journalist Association turned around and said, well, listen, we don't want trouble from the CFA because they've got really good lawyers, so maybe don't give him the award. Which counts as, if you ask me, I'm not a lawyer or a journalist. I'm just here for your entertainment purposes. That's interference, is it not?
Yes. Is it not a form of blackmail as well?
I mean, it is, isn't it?
If you want to, yeah, manipulation. I don't know.
Yeah, so, you know. So
Escapar
again,
is about to hit the Animistira.
yeah, because that statement that Macari's put out on Twitter is specifically written as a submission to the parliamentary group that he's submitting that to. So all that is going direct to them for their review with respect to whether or not is bitten off a bit more than he can chew. I mean, he sounds like he's bitten off more than he can chew normally, but let's see.
Yeah. Well, boys and girls, watch this space.
That
That's
wasn't.
all we have to say.
We weren't even going to talk about this.
No, we weren't.
Yeah, this just came slap.
But hey, thank you, Mr. Margaritis, for tagging us, because it's giving us more content. It's giving us more content. Anyway, right. Shall we go into the soccer results?
Yeah, let's go into the soccer.
Okay. Well, the first game I'm not really going to do anything with because it ended 0-0. That was Ethnigo against Omone Aradipo. Nothing really to talk about there, to be fair.
There's one thing that happened.
Go on.
I don't know if you picked it up on the highlights.
No, I didn't. I didn't bother.
Oh, Morgan Ferrier missed an absolute sitter.
Oh my goodness! I thought you were talking about a sending off or something. No. It's irrelevant.
No.
It's irrelevant.
Oh, I was going to say he had an open goal and he smashed the frame of the goal with his shot.
Well, how far out was he? Oh, for goodness sake. I was going to say he missed the penalty against Omonia the other week, so it's no surprise. But
Oh no, it's if people, it doesn't happen very far into the highlight reel as well for that game. Obviously, the highlights reel isn't very long because it finished at 0-0 as well. But yeah, it's missed to see. It really is something to see. Anyway, we can move on from that though.
yes, let's do it. And Anorthosi, well, they ended up beating Paralimni by 3-2 after being 2-0 down. Sambu giving Paralimni the lead, Andreu making it 2-0 in the second half, but Rafa Lopez scored what I think he'd say is a cross. I don't think he'd admit it, but I think deep down he knows that was a cross. I think. But hey, it went in. It went in. And 4 minutes into added time, Chrysostomu equalized, but that wasn't it. That was not it. The drama continued. Gyushko, who has been sat on the bench for most of this season, scored the winner, giving Yannis Oka his, I guess, his final 3 points as Anorthosi head coach. We're going to go into that in just a bit. Right. Where shall we start with this game? Shall we talk about how Paralimni capitulated, or shall we talk about Anorthosi's brave comeback?
Well, I mean, we can put two and two together, basically, because Paralimni, I'd say, were in control of that game at 2-0. They were very good for the 2-0 as well. Anorthosis hadn't really shown up. Their game was put off as well by a couple of injuries. They had one before halftime. Barutis got injured and they had to bring on Roglic. And then at halftime they had to sub on. I can't remember who came off, but they brought on Atanaz. What's the Bulgarian's name? I've forgotten the guy's name.
Oh, the striker.
Atanaz.
Iliev.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and yeah, so those.
It was Barudi that came off because he's injured.
Yeah, in the first half. Yeah. And that probably took its toll. Took its toll on the team. Paralimni were in control, and then Okas, I think, pulled out some really great substitutions. The fans were not happy with his substitutions either. I got to say, he took off Haralambos and put Chrysostomu on, and you could hear, like, over the commentator, you could hear the Anorthosis fans like screaming blue murder at him, because Haralambos was one of the better performers up until that point. And then he took off Theodoru and Kiko, and he put Gyusko and the Greek guy. What's his name?
Hang about. It wasn't Garga, was it?
Garga.
No?
Yeah, it was Garga. Yeah, it was Garga. And flipped the game around. I think those substitutions. Paralimni as well. So when the Rafa Lopez scored the goal, Demir Kanadi changed formation, went to 5 at the back to try and preserve the lead, and then the Paralimni players just switched off for both of those goals. The second one was from corner, and then the third one was Gyursko. Gyursko is 34 years old. He's spent the last 2 seasons being injured, and he's the fastest player to that through ball. So it tells you something about those Paralimni players.
That was a great ball from Roglic, though.
It was fantastic pass.
Yeah.
It was.
Got my fruit butter.
And then 3-2. Unbelievable.
There's a comment there from George. George is flying off already. We weren't brave. Paralimni bottled it when we pulled one back. And then our fans are stupid. They should be ashamed of themselves for being so toxic all the time.
So there was a very negative reaction to Okas's changes. But, Gyursko assisted 2 and he scored the other one. I think that's right, yeah. Chrysostomu scored 1. So I believe his substitutions made a difference there.
Mhm.
whether or not the fans agreed with them at the time. In the 98th minute, they were all climbing out of their seats when that goal went in. Me
Yep.
too. I was watching that game when I saw that goal go in. I was going like, ah!
Did you see the limbs in the stands? The
Exactly.
limbs.
It was fantastic. It was a fantastic game to watch. It was a great game to watch. But
But there's a but.
there's always a but.
There's
There's a
always a but.
big old but.
Yes.
That is YAAAAAAAASSSSSS Okas's last game in charge of Anorthosis. There he is. There he is. So we can talk about him for a little bit. So he took over on an interim basis last season following the sacking of David Gallejo. He himself getting sacked because of what he said in that press conference when shit really started hitting fans. The fans, sorry, not fans. Jesus
Well,
Christ. Right. So, but yeah. So,
literally throwing shit at the fans, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so he managed 19 games, 6 wins and 4 draws. I'd say it's not a great turnover of results, but considering the amount of trouble the team's been in with, towards the end of last season, they got rid of 11 players because of the financial issues that they were having. The last 3-4 games of the season, he basically had a full team he couldn't pick, including goalkeeper, because Arboleda had gone as well.
That's right. Yeah.
He'd lost 11 first team players. But listen, the Anorthosis board that brought him in following his interim, his interimness from last season, brought him in and said that this season was going to be a period of transition. The club's in financial dire straits. We need somebody to steady the ship. And I think he was doing all right. He wasn't doing a great job. He wasn't doing a bad job. He was doing fine. But it wasn't deemed good enough, apparently. I think as well, part of it, again, down to the negative reaction of the fans from his tactics, his substitutions, basically led the board to giving him his notice, basically.
But the thing is that there were reports online that he fell out with the board as well. But there wasn't much detail as to what had occurred. So again, it's all hearsay at the moment.
Yeah, it could be anything that he fell out with them about. It could be that players aren't getting paid. He's not getting paid.
Yeah.
Signings
from the summer.
Yeah. It could be discussions that they've had about January. Maybe they've had offers from players.
Could it be the reinstatement of a certain someone that we're going to talk about in a bit as well? I don't know. We're just, as you said, putting 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yep. Because that was the other thing. Anyway, we'll get to... So, Okas is gone.
Yes.
The past. That's the past. Now we go to the future. And the future is one Mauro Camoranesi. There he is.
Camoranesi Action, as the title reads.
Yes, exactly. So, he's back, ladies and gentlemen, following his
hissy fit and walking out.
Yeah, following his stint at Garmodissa, he again 2 games, and he left Garmodissa because he wouldn't play the Garmodissa president's sons in the cup match against YAAAAAAASSSSSS. Anyway,
that's the story. That's the
story. But I'm sticking with it because remember I said I want that cease and desist letter. So Stavros Dimosenos got pissed off with him because he wouldn't play his twin sons against YAAAAAAASSSSS. There we go. putting it out there. By the way, Camoranesi lost that game.
Yes, they
Camoranesi
did.
lost that game as
3-2.
well.
Yes.
Sure, that's got nothing to do with anything either. I'm not gonna.
No.
I'm
No,
not
no,
gonna.
no.
Nope.
No.
Not getting involved in that conversation. So Camoranesi now has a new job. He takes over Anorthosis. I'm sure he's well aware of the issues surrounding the club, but has decided to take the job anyway.
Yep.
He's got a big job. He's got a big job on his hands, because if the Anorthosis fans are disappointed with being 3 points away from the top 6 right now, he's going to need
Well,
to
look,
at least keep that up, if not do better.
but they have
keep his job.
standards, Sasso. There's a difference. They have standards. They're not happy with where they are in the league. They're not happy with performances. They're not happy with the results. And look, no one's got the divine right to win games, but the fact is they shouldn't be where they are.
Any other season, I'd agree with you.
Really?
But yeah, I'd agree with you any other season. They should be one of the teams competing into the top 6. But for the last 2 seasons, they've been digging a hole, right?
Mhm.
And the only way they thought to get out of it was to dig deeper. You can't keep
Yeah.
digging and expecting to come out the other end. That's not how it works.
Hmm.
Yeah, you need to build some foundations. Yeah, and slowly get yourself out of that. But you're not going to do that if you keep fucking off the coaches and then bringing the people back that got you into that position in the first place into a job again.
Yeah. Although when you have 4 different boards in a year,
Yeah, that does not help. Again,
nope.
none of that helps. But Prieto coming back as a scout instead of somebody who actually makes decisions is a pretty good shout, I think, because he's
Yeah.
very good at finding players. He's just not very good with money, contracts, or anything to do regarding any responsibility whatsoever.
Yep. Well, look, as Tasso said, Antonio Prieto is back, but he's not the technical director anymore. He is a scout.
Yes.
So that basically means he doesn't have full autonomy on transfers, but he can make the recommendations.
Yep.
And this is a guy that was apparently booted out, and they couldn't resolve his contractual issue. So they said, come back, but you can be a scout. And he said, all right. And he got a year extension as well.
Listen, yeah. Listen, I said,
Shall we?
yeah.
Shall we?
I said the things I was going to say about that, and I keep repeating myself.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
it's
Well, there's another little bit of information, a little bit of news. Shall I bring him up? He looks very similar to a guy that we were talking about earlier.
oh, there he is. There he is. Talking about people coming back. There he is once again. So for people who don't understand who the person is in this image, is his ex-Anorthosis president, Christos
God.
Boulaidis. And the club put out a statement the other day to state that their club is ever thankful for him providing a 15,000 euro sum to help pay for the financial audit that the club is trying to undertake, and that he will give an extra 15,000 once 85,000 is given to complete the payment of the audit. So there you go. And
How generous.
They put the post out to be like, oh, isn't he great? Oh, praise be to Boulaidis. Oh my God, he's so great.
Hang about. How much did Humboldt put in last week?
He put about that in as well. And remember, they were like, "Oh, Hamdulillah."
Is this a case of one person putting their bastuma on the table and the other one putting another bastuma saying mine's bigger than yours?
I don't know. I don't know what for me, right? You've got a pair. This is gonna be really bad.
Try it. Go on.
You've got
I want to hear this. I want to hear this analogy.
There's a carcass, right? There's a carcass in the desert, and you've got a pair of vultures skulking over it, like, no. And it's people are not learning lessons. People are not learning lessons.
So, any potential investors that are
Any
looking at Anorthosis that are watching this right now?
they'll have to deal with those two bold fat pricks. Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to add something here. Perhaps I shouldn't, but I'm going to do it anyway. If you're a football club and you require investment and you want to coax potential investors, you need to come up with an investor pack. Not give emails and say, just email us and we'll answer your questions. Just saying.
Yep. There you go. A bit of advice. A bit of advice for someone with a bit of experience there for you.
There you go. Right. Maki Des didn't like him and they put the money back into the club, so hold the power. You're talking about Oka, I assume,
yeah.
George. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex says, hello, guys. Hope that.
That's Lithuania.
Oh, so, yeah. You're talking about Dambrauskas.
All right.
I'm going to Omonia in a bit, Alex. Don't worry. There's a bit to talk about with Omonia. And Sherry, Camoranesi is back, baby. Question for you boys. Who was the first World Cup winner who came to Cyprus before Camoranesi? The first World Cup winner? That's a question.
Yeah, that's a very good question.
The first World Cup winner before him?
Yeah.
The only one I can think of off the top of my head, which I don't know if he won a World Cup, was it Zelias for Omonia? Did he win a World Cup with Brazil?
Did Salgado win one with Spain? Or was that too late?
Oh, that was Ramos, I think. First World Cup winner. But then again, it might not be a big name, you know. It might have been someone that was in the squad that didn't play.
No one French. Is there? Not going to be like
Bernard Lemmer, no. Christophe Dugarry, no. Stefan Givash, no. Bernard Diomed, no. Oh my goodness! This is going to stump us.
Have to tell us.
This is going to stump us because I'm trying to think. If I go back, I mean, how far are we going back here?
Yeah.
Are we going Mexico 86? Are we going Italia 90? If it's Italia 90, can't think of any West German players. USA 94. Any Brazilians from that squad? I don't think Zelias was in that squad. So we got France 98. I don't think anyone there. 2002 was who? Tasso? Brazil, was it? No. Brazil.
Yeah, was it not?
Yeah, when Ronaldo scored twice in the final.
Yeah.
We had players like Kleberson and...
Yeah, but... I don't know, man.
Must be further back than that. Must be further back.
Who else have Baffle got in their board? It's Salgado. It's
Mendieta.
Yeah, no, but he wouldn't have won one.
Right, but he's see. We're thinking of players now. It could be staff as well. We didn't think of that.
Who would have won a World Cup as a coach?
Hang about, wasn't it the German? What? Hang about.
What?
Was it Thomas Doll? Boy, Thomas Doll.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Do you know what? You see, I don't like doing this now. I'm gonna
No,
have to do
no.
this.
This is yeah.
Thomas
In the
Stoll.
yeah. In the meantime,
Thomas Stoll. Manager profile. Okay, as a manager, he's won trophies. Thomas Stoll is a player. Thomas Stoll is a player. Come on, transfer mark. Don't let me down. Don't give me that punctured football transfer mark. Okay, let's go to Wikipedia then. Thomas Stoll. He played for Germany, 91. Was it? Did he?
if anybody else would like to chuck in a guess in the meantime, we can carry on.
No, he didn't win a World Cup. Scheiße! Yes, still didn't say it was a player. All right, I'm gonna have to think about this one. I'm gonna have to think about this. Let's move on because it's gonna kill me. It's gonna absolutely kill me. I can't do this right now. Sherry's just he's killing us. He's killing us. Flipping out.
Yeah.
Right.
As if we didn't have enough to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a quick one. Omonia Gosinha beat Nea Salamina by a goal to 0. What an utter thunder bastard. What a strike. Sapanidzic. That's his name. I think that's how you pronounce it. I think it's worth coming up with this one today, there, Tasso, because we haven't done it in a while. Yeah.
Yes. Sapanajovic.
Sapanajovic.
That's how you do it. Yeah. But
Right.
Yeah,
great win for Omonia Gosinha. Fantastic win. But Salamina, Janevski. It's not the Salamina we remember from last season, is it?
It's not. And to tell you the truth, the only reason I can think is because obviously everybody has thrown a lot at recruitment, and Salamina were a little bit slow in the in transfer business this time around. And I think and I think it's starting to hit the team. They haven't properly replaced Doregaray. They've tried it with Velios. Velios isn't he's good, but he's not Doregaray good. And defensively, I think it's defensively that's the problem, because while they've gone for experience in defense, what they have got instead is, they're younger than me, but a bunch of old age pensioners in defense. The average age of that defense, that Nea Salamina defense, is horrible. And I think they're getting done by the speed of a lot of the forward lines that are in the league at the moment, and I think that's what's doing them in.
Yeah, the thing is, they look okay going forward, but has Dumishai been playing much? I don't even know. Has he been featuring?
Yeah. So Dumishai, because he's a second striker, he's somebody that that works a little bit like Vili Dyer was at Abwell, which is why I was saying he'd be a pretty good replacement. So setting up Velios and trying to get the wing players involved. It seems like Narsingh has been forced really far out on the wing as well, which while he's good for that, what Salamina had of him last season was kind of more of an inside forward role where he'd work his way into the box, whereas now he's been forced wide, and so is Fernandez, and I don't think they're the kind of players that excel in doing that. But if you've got somebody like Apostolos Velios, just get the ball on his head. I think that's the that's the tactic. But it means that those players need to stay out wide, and I don't think they're used to being asked that of them.
Yes, well, look, Omonia Gosinha got a very, very good victory. I'm certain they'll be doing cartwheels. I guess they'll be doing cartwheels. I mean, what's that? Their first win as well in the top league.
Yep, first win after 11 games. So they did better than Doxa last season. They had to wait 14 games.
We can't laugh at them. We can't laugh
I mean,
at
we
them.
can.
Okay, we can.
We
Okay,
can.
okay. All right. Shall we move on?
Yep.
Excelente. Now, the next game, Karmiodissa. Oh dear, another loss. This time 2-0 against Aek Aglieski. The Pole scored his first goal for the club, and then Angel Garcia made it 2-0 with 10 minutes to go. Now, if you remember last week, or was it the week before, Aek drew at Paralimni 0-0. They said that they felt like it was a loss. They bounced back with a very, very good victory. It was convincing. It was a boring game, though, to be honest. Really boring game. But a win is a win at the end of the day. So I guess we can't really say too much about that.
Yeah, I mean they're getting on. They're getting on with things quietly, which compared to the other teams around them, it's they're just getting on with things, and I think that's all you need to do. I think at this stage of the season is just be boring and get 1-0, 2-0 wins, not do anything, keep quiet, and people won't necessarily consider you as going for the title. So, yeah, fair enough. Well, gotta be on this side. How long do you think old Watermelon Alex is gonna?
Oh, do you know, I really feel for him, man. I really feel for him because that club is a poison chalice.
It is.
Like you can't really achieve anything there, you know. And what is the target? To stay up, right? And that's it. That is it. If you stay up, then it's happy days. But the fact is, you're always going to be bottom half of the table with Karmiodissa. Always going to be.
Yeah.
And you know they expect. Look, I don't know what the president expects. The fact is, whoever comes, it's the same with Omoni. Whoever comes in after Sofroni, because the guy's got such a big reputation, and he did okay there, right? He did okay because he comes with a big reputation, and they brought in a lot of players this summer.
Yep.
The level of expectancy is very, very high. Now, obviously, it didn't work out with Sofroni. Who came in after him? It was Camoranesi, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was Camoranesi.
And then he fell out with the president, allegedly.
Yeah.
And then it's like you've had two coaches with big reputations in various leagues. This guy comes in who did all right with IL. He did all right. Didn't he get Othello promoted?
He got Othello promoted, yeah.
So he's got a decent reputation, but again, it's a poison chalice. Like, what are you going to do with Karmiodissa apart from try and keep him up? So what are they expecting? Whoever comes in, what are they expecting?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily the people coming in that have any expectations. It's the people sat at the big table at the club that have these expectations that nobody seems to be able to manage to meet. You know, there's also all kinds of weird stories that surround Karmiodissa all the time. You know, things like director of football doing substitutions at halftime without the coach's knowledge. Let's not talk about Camoranesi, but you know,
yes, let's not.
you know, they hired Marino Sachas last season, and then they were like, "Yeah, all right, go on, off you go." After again 2 games, it's crazy how many managers they've been through at that club.
Mad, absolutely mad. I mean, what was it last season? They had 4. Was it last season?
Was it 4? They had
it was 7 the year before.
Yeah. they had Haralambos, they had Sacha, they had the other Haralambos.
Yes.
And then who was the 4th one? Who was the one before Sachas?
Sofroni? No.
Before Sachas.
Oh, pass.
Oh, what's his name?
Nationality?
Was he Romanian?
Forget his name now. I know you're talking about.
Florin.
Bratu. Was it Bratu?
Yeah, I want to say that. I want to say that, yeah, because he only lasted like 4 or 5 games, and then they binned him. But yeah, and then they brought Sadchas in. That didn't work out. But yeah, it's yeah.
Flipping hell.
But yeah, it's that yeah. Garmodi's side's a mess. It's a mess.
Yes.
It's a mess.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
Anyway,
On to the next. Oh boy. So Omonia beat Apollon by 3-1. Apollon thought they took the lead through Sagal, but he was deemed as offside. Apollon were clearly unhappy about it because it came off Stepinski's head, but Jovetic came off the bench and changed the game. He scored the penalty after creating effectively, half assisting really. He then got a second assist, kind of, by passing to Stepinski, headed in from 6 yards out. And then he got, he assisted Garguli for a third, but that was sandwiched in between Dorgaray pulling one back. I can't even get my words out. Dorgaray pulling one back, your guy. And yeah, so Garguli made it 3-1. A win is a win for Omonia, mate. But as I said on No Choftes, that first half performance was absolutely turgid.
Especially that first 10 minutes, it was just a Apollon attack. Fabiano was basically man of the match, I think, from Omonia, wasn't he?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
many saves, so many fantastic saves from him. Yeah, it was.
But yeah, look, I'll be honest with you, right? I'm still fuming about that result. Sorry, no, let me start again. I'm still fuming about that performance, right? Because this isn't the first time Omonia have got out of jail. Thinking about the teams that we played against this season and the games that we've won, with the exception of Garmi Odessa away from home, which again wasn't easy. We made it difficult for ourselves. Even Isle at home, we were a goal down. Every game we played this season, we've just about got over the line. Just about. And here's the thing, we're 9 points behind Buffer. We're not playing very good football. We're conceding goals left, right, and centre. I don't think we kept a clean sheet in the last 8 games. So that first half performance, we got out of jail, literally. And as I said before, it's not the first time this has happened. So when I'm seeing Omonia fans on social media saying, well, you need to back the club. Yeah, it's well and good backing the players. But the fact is, there's something seriously wrong. Seriously wrong. And I can't exactly put my finger on it because there's so many different things. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, listen, the performances aren't there, but the results are. And I think that's, again, if you're going for the title, look at Jose Mourinho's teams. But they were based on a solid defense. Omonia don't have that. But Chelsea, when they won the title, they were squeezing out these 1-0 wins everywhere. They weren't exactly attacking performances, performance-wise attacking. They weren't really anything great. Defensively, they were fine. Whereas I think on Omonia's side, attacking, there's a lot of attacking intent in this team. You can't deny that. Defensively, it's a bit shocking, which is surprising considering the what's the word I'm looking for? The talent that the team has in defense, because there's a lot of talented players in that defense. Just don't seem to be doing it, and I think it comes down to, again, investment from the other teams, especially in their forward lines. Teams all over the place have thrown a lot of money at their strike forces, which already defenses in Cyprus are shoddy at best. So now they're really being taken apart at the moment. As soon as there's a pace in the forward line, that's it. It's done.
Well, look, I don't want to make it all about Omonia. I think Apollon played a very, very good first half. In fact, even up until, I was going to say up until we took the lead, but we took the lead literally 2 minutes into the second half. It's almost as if they didn't come out for the second half. If that makes sense. They left everything in the changing room, and that one moment where Simic broke through and won the penalty, their game plan went out the window. But they were very, very aggressive going forward. They're getting the ball in wide areas. all right, I think they've been blighted by injuries as well. Obviously,
Yeah.
Lovenberg is out. Marquez wasn't 100% fit, I don't think, anyway.
Yeah.
Humboldt came off the bench. So they were literally down to their bare bones. But Sagal had a good game. Doragaray, when he came off the bench, was all right. Even Malakies was suspended. And he's a focal point, really, like for the most part of the last year and a half. He has been anyway.
Yeah.
And they still threatened Omonia going forward. Every time they got forward, they looked like they were going to create something. And from set pieces, sorry guys, I keep talking about set pieces, but they came very close to scoring from those. So, I think Gula's, of course, he's going to be disappointed with the result, but the performance, I don't think he can really slate his players, all right, apart from the defensive shambles at times.
Yeah. I think Apollon have again forward line. Marquez, once he's fit. Doragaray, the wingers that they've got. Sagal is explosive. That one, he's an absolute tank. He's like I don't understand what that guy's doing on the wing, but he's there and he's very good. He's very good with the ball as soon as he gets it. I think Weisbeck as well has been fantastic for them so far. But again, defensively, they've been shocking again. Especially the central defensive partnership. I don't think anybody in central defense for them will be happy with how the season's gone so far. But yeah.
Well, they're above Isle, so that's the main thing. That's the main thing.
Yes, that's what they're aiming for, I think.
Yeah.
All
right. Well, there is some news relating to Omonia. First of all, goalkeeper Panayi, they've mutually terminated his contract. He's been at the club since 2014, 15, I think. Wasn't really getting any game time. He went on loan to Ethnigol last season, but I think it's a good move for him to find another club, because obviously he's not in contention for the national team either. And maybe that's something that Sofronis Augusti said to him. We need a Cypriot goalkeeper. You're clearly the most experienced one that's available. And he's gone. And, I like him as a person, as a goalkeeper. Really made a mistake for us. Happy to sit on the bench and have his opportunities and take them. So, good luck to him.
Yeah, I think injuries have kind of blighted him over the last couple of years. Even at Aachen last season, he missed a few games because of different injuries that he's had. Kind of on the same note, didn't somebody mentioned to me last week that IL were looking for a Cypriot goalkeeper because they can't register Becker.
That's correct.
Too many foreigners. So
don't be
looks
surprised.
Looks like that position's lined up for him.
Yep, for sure. And staying on the subject of Omonia, something else happened. Yes, Jesper Janssen. Remember him? He was our former sporting director. He's now pursuing legal action against Omonia for unpaid compensation following his dismissal. Now, Janssen refutes Babastavou's claims of poor performance and misconduct, and he believes that his contract entitles him to severance. Now, he described his experiences as tumultuous, involving internal conflicts and unsubstantiated accusations. Now, the case is currently with the CFA, and it could escalate to FIFA. Janssen actually emphasizes his right to the agreed terms in his contract, and this was an interview he gave with a Swedish podcast called The Game. No, sorry, it wasn't called The Game. Sorry, it was called something else. But there's a couple of things that stood out for me, Tasso. He said, I learned a lot about Cyprus and that part of the world. It was very exciting and great for 6 months. Then it was like in The Game with Michael Douglas. A lot of things happened in a short time. And then they actually asked him about transfers and everything and how everything kind of spiraled out of control. And he said, well, players came in and then I started to feel things behind my back. Then they started accusing me of taking money for a player coming in. Then that player appeared. It was absolutely crazy. Now, for those of you not knowing what he's referring to, he's talking about Dusan Bakic, a centre forward that came in January. Now, I was fortunate enough to speak to former Omonia head coach Ketil Rekdal in the Omonia Nochotes members area, in fact, on the Patreon. And even Rekdal was surprised himself to see Bakic because he told the podcast that, you know, they were looking at Bakic. Janssen was trying to reduce the price because he was overpriced. Because the club wouldn't budge, Janssen said, well, you know, we're not going to pay what you want. So they pulled out the deal. And then a couple of days later, Bakic shows up in training and both of them are like, what's going on here? So this is going round and round and round, isn't it?
It's so strange as well that Bakic ended up at is that Garmedisal loan?
Yeah. And Sofroni was the coach when he came.
It wasn't just Sofroni that was there, though, was it?
Tarabuluzzi.
There you go. There you go.
Nah, it couldn't be.
But
It couldn't be.
I'm just listen.
In Cyprus?
What I'm doing is what I've done here is I've prepared a plate with the ingredients, right? It's up to you guys to put the fajita together.
That's very good. That's very good. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
I'm impressed. Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Okay. On to the next.
Wait, hold on.
No?
Apollon have got some news as well.
Ooh, oh, yes.
Yes.
Shame on me.
So,
Shame on me.
Apollon have announced the signing of a goalkeeper because Ljungberg is injured, as is one of their second choice goalkeepers, which would have left them with only Dimitriou in goal. So they've gone in for 32-year-old German goalkeeper called Philipp Kühn, right?
Yep.
There's an umlaut in there. That's how you say that, right? Yeah. Kühn.
Yep.
He's got plenty of experience in the second and third tier of German football. There you go. He was supposed to sign, I think, for Werder Bremen as a second choice goalkeeper in the summer, but that deal fell apart. So he's basically joining unattached, which means they're able to sign him unattached.
Happy days.
And I believe he can get involved right away. I'm not sure though.
Well, he was on the bench against Omonia.
Okay, so yeah, he can get involved right away then. So that's
good.
Yeah.
Can indeed.
There you go.
All right, on to the next. And one of our viewers will probably enjoy watching this because Ari demolished Isle by 3-0. Gogorin gave them the lead. Gomis made it 2 in the second half, but this was before the Isle goalkeeper was sent off for this handball. For those of you not able to watch because you might be listening to it, ball was played over the top. The goalkeeper's come running out. He's jumped for the ball, realized that he can't head it, so he's raised his arm and volleyballed. It's like a volleyball spike, and he was sent off. Gomis then made it 2 in the second half before Montnor made it 3 in added time. And what a player he is. I tell you, he's something special. And we keep saying it about Montnor. He is something special. But that's all. Cracking win for Ari.
Yep.
Easy. Light work.
Yep. I mean, especially that first 10 minutes. Again, if you watch the highlights for that game, the first minute and a half of the highlights are just attacks from Aris in the first 10 minutes. Just again and again and again and again. They could have been 3-4-0 up by the 10-minute mark. It was one-way traffic. I mean, the first chance that AL had was in the 18th minute. I think Toku had a pretty standard save. Yeah.
That's all. I'm going to do something really unprofessional now.
Go on.
I need you to check your WhatsApp.
Okay.
Don't say anything.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Watch this space, boys and girls. That's all I have to say.
We're getting all kinds of things coming in live, guys.
Yes.
We don't know how to react to. So yeah. Yeah. So anyway, where were we? Yeah. So yes. Yeah.
Aris absolutely demolished.
professional demolishment of local rivals. And yes, very disappointing from the IL players. I think there's going to be
Do you know what, mate? I think the moment the goalkeeper got sent off, they threw in the towel.
They
threw in the
yeah.
towel
Yeah.
because it was easy for Ari. Honestly, it was easy. And do you know what? Okay, the stadium was empty, which didn't, add to the excitement or anything like that. But it might as well have been a pre-season game for Ari because it was just
Yeah.
they were in second gear.
Mm-hmm.
Too
Yeah.
easy for them. But
Yeah.
anyway, that then led to something that we knew was
Yeah.
inevitable.
Yep.
And Chris Coleman was sent packing today. It was official. I mean, the last couple of days, we've been seeing it all over social media, all over websites, stories about him, his position being untenable. Once Banayodianu was sacked as technical director, it was only a matter of time until Coleman was the next one to go. And it looks like Marino Sacca is his replacement. Has that been confirmed by the club?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. They
It has
put
been
out an
confirmed, yeah.
announcement as well, like 4 hours later. So
Right. Where do we begin?
Coleman was at the club from the summer. We made a big deal about him joining the Cypriot League. We were like, "Oh, we're gonna get him on the podcast." Oh, we can still get him on the podcast.
Good try.
Send me another WhatsApp message in about 20 minutes.
I can't. Listen, I don't have a magic wand.
Well, yeah, well, I'm sure
magic
Chris. I'm sure Chris Coleman will have a lot to say about how professional everything has been at the IL over his tenure. Now, let's talk about his record as well. He's got 5 wins and a draw in 12 games. One of the,
Right.
11 games, because there's one game that, now, his job was made even more difficult by the fact that I had signed 24 players in the summer, including a goalkeeper they couldn't register. We already talked about it. So their recorded losses, like proper on the pitch losses, were against Aboel, Anorthosi, Ari, Omonia, and Bafo. I mean, it's not the IL of now compared to the IL of, say, 3-4 years ago, would have trouble beating those teams regardless of performance.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Even if they performed admirably well, IL shouldn't be going into those games with the situation financially and squad-wise that the team is at. They should not be expecting to be going against those teams and beating them.
And let's not forget, they were leading against 2 of those teams as well.
Yeah. So, for me, Chris Coleman going is a stupid idea. The reason why the players are performing for the last 2-3 weeks as well is because, you see the news coming out, the coach is going to get sacked. The coach is going to get sacked. The coach is going to get sacked. What's the point of performing if your boss is going to go? Yeah. There's no motivation there. It just goes. Like, what's the point? I don't need to impress him no more. Well, he's going to be gone soon. So, it's so stupid. And there's a lot of fans obviously are not happy that he's gone. If you check the Instagram post from the club.
Yes. We're not going to do that right now.
No, we're not going to show him right now. What I will say is there's a couple of messages that made me laugh in particular. There was one that called the club twats in capital letters. That was a funny one. And then other ones that were mentioning that if the club brings in Sacha, the board might as well not turn up to the stadium because they're going to be in trouble if they do.
Oh God.
And then 4 hours later, I'll announce
Is it?
Marino Sacha's taking over the reins at the
But
club.
the thing is, it's not a bad appointment.
It's not.
If you want to talk about a short term, if they're thinking short term, have him here to the end of the season, steady the ship. I don't think it's a bad one. In all
No.
fairness,
No.
like, it makes sense. I mean, don't forget back in the last season with Achna, we were saying he's done bloody well.
Mhm.
All right, he had to rely on Cabrera and Mario Elia, and I don't know if IL have got a Cabrera and a Mario Elia. They've got a Magriz, I guess, and they haven't got the Minji there either.
No, but yeah, I think Sachas is good at making do with what he's got. I think
Yeah.
that's because look at what he did at Paralimni. He got him so
Yep.
close to avoiding relegation after he got them promoted. And if you believe conspiracy theories, anyway, Sachas got really close with Paralimni. He did amazingly with those players. At Achna as well, because if you look at that forward line now, Cabrera hasn't really hit the kind of form that he had at Achna. Ilia isn't getting game time at Bafo, and Drazic is in India somewhere. That's the last of it that I saw. So he managed to get great performances out of players that people wouldn't otherwise have considered. And that's what you need at IL right now, I think.
He's the Cypriot Big Sam. He's the Cypriot Big Sam. He will come in. He'll put that plaster on it.
Yeah.
Stop the bleeding, and then make you stable. That's it. I don't know. How can we do it? Big Sacha. I don't know. Maybe that's what his missus called him. I don't know.
Big Sacha. Yeah.
Big Sacha.
Yeah.
Big Sacha.
Yeah. But
Okay.
he's had a bit of a checkered past with his managerial career. Obviously, we talked about him at Camoranesi. He was at Lamia in the Super League earlier this season. He only lasted 5 games there because the chairman the chairman at Lamia hired him and then went, actually, I don't like you.
Yeah.
We was just looking for any excuse to get rid of him.
Yeah.
So
hey, look at this one. Chris Coleman on Stell's podcast. 1 frappe cost €10 at Limassol. This is the reason I left.
Yeah.
Cypriot Big Sam is gutto. Well, truth be told, Big Sam has never won anything, has he?
Well, to be fair, no, it makes sense because Sam Allardyce did manage England for 1 game as well.
Yeah, 1 game. 1 game.
But
Well, Thassa, because we've had 2 more managerial casualties,
yep.
we are now down to 9. So do you know what this means?
Here we go again, it's another day, another manager's out, he couldn't stay. The ink's still wet on that brand new deal, but in Cyprus change is all too real. Oh, another manager is out. It's no surprise we scream and shout. Last season, 18, the year before was more. In this revolving door, who's keeping score?
Yes. So we are halfway to last season's total of 18 head coach changes.
Yeah.
Halfway, and we're not even halfway through the season.
We're not even a third.
Oh my goodness, this is delicious. This is amazing.
13 games is a third of the season.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad.
It's unbelievable.
And you're not even including cup. You're not even
Yeah.
including cup games.
Yeah.
That is mad.
It's
Well, we
insane.
had 6 changes in Division 2 the last 4 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, 2 of them were Jason Punchin. But
Oh my
It's
god. Oh my god. Well, you know what? Speaking of Jason, he got a win for
yep.
Agrida, 1-0.
Again, 1-0.
See? 1-0. And guess who
1-0.
they got next?
Ayanaba.
Ayana bye. I can't wait. I can't wait. Do you know
Yeah.
what the funny thing is? The team that they beat at the weekend, that's the fourth time in a row he's beat that coach. He can't stand the sight of him. Oh yeah, fucking punch on Ballet. Fucking punch on.
Yeah. I'd say as well, right? Both those managers in those 4 games probably managed 4 different teams.
Yeah, probably, yeah. 8 teams. He might have coached the same team as well at one point. You know, you just
Yeah,
never know.
yeah, more than likely.
Plays one.
It's
You know.
unbelievable. It's unbelievable the way it changes.
So the way that things are right now, right? Do you want to guess who the next sacking is going to be? Shall we do this? Shall we do this now? Should we do
Gatpozis.
sweepstakes? Your money's on
Gatpozis.
Gatpozis.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Your money's on Gatpozis. I'll tell you who my money's on.
Who?
Valdas.
Oh, okay.
That's who my money's on. And I'm not saying I want him to go. I'm just saying that's who my money is on.
Okay. All right.
That's who my money's on. I'm not even saying smart money. It's just that on money I've got Legia Warsaw, Buffer, and Upwell. And usually whenever a coach loses against Upwell,
Yeah.
you can see it
Yeah.
happening. Okay, so you
Yeah.
got Gakpozi. I've got Dambrowska. So guys who's watching live, I think there's about 7 people watching live, I think.
Mhm.
Who do you think is the next one on the I was gonna say the guillotine, but then I'll be stealing someone else's content, wouldn't I?
Ah.
You see what I did there, yeah?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
right. What's the next one? The next game, the final game, is Buffalo
Yeah.
2, Abuel 1.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Buffalo beating Abuel, goals from Tankovic and Correa scoring the winner with 4 or 5 minutes to go. Drazic pulled one back thanks to some absolutely shocking defending here. My goodness.
Yeah.
Thaso, what can we say about this one?
I'm gonna talk about the game as I just watch.
As objective as you can be.
I'm not gonna be objective, man. I'm gonna start off with my rant. I'm gonna start off with my rant the way that I've got it written down
Shall I
here.
get the cigar out? Shall I get the cigar out? I'm going to mute myself and just listen.
Petrovic, stop playing Petrovic. Stop it. He doesn't have it anymore, right? He was already caught out so many times last season on the counter attack with forward players. The yellow cards against Aris, against Bafo, against Aek, all the time. As soon as someone starts to run faster than a snail's pace, he's like, "Get back here, fucking!" And concedes a free kick, yellow card, red card, stupidest red card he got at the end of this game. But even for that second goal, right? Cross comes in from Anderson, and he just flaps one of his long Slenderman legs at it. He doesn't try and get in front of it. He just goes to try and get to it because he died trying to run back to try and get close to Anderson in the first place. He's not worth it. It's not worth it. He's got 2 red cards this season so far, 4 professional fouls. What does that tell you, right? It tells me he's slow and he can't deal with the forward lines out there in Cyprus right now. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You've got other more than capable defenders you could be playing instead of a 34-year-old defensive midfielder. It doesn't work. Anyway, apart from that, first half of that game was dog poo. It was such a boring first half. Nothing happened. Second half, the floodgates opened. Like both teams decided that, actually, this is a game we should be trying to win. It was a much more entertaining second half. Barfor got in front, I think, deservedly. The equalising goal was an absolute nightmare at the back for Barfor. Drazic capitalising, I think they're very, very good. And then obviously, kind of near the end of the game, defence switches off, which seems to be a problem for Apoel at the moment. It's something that they need to fix. Now, it's probably again because of tiredness, because they're all fucking old. But anyway, they need to up their concentration levels at the end of the game to be able to get anything from the bigger teams, especially Bafor is a team that they've fallen behind so many times this season, and they've managed to scrape wins from losing positions. So it must do better. That's I think what we need to say about Apoel. However, they are not going to get fined next week for not playing enough Cypriots. They played two. They played Laifi and Sacha. And having Sacha and Abanya in midfield, I think kind of the fact that we had those two in midfield kind of just trying to run after everything kind of nullified Bafor, which kind of made the game what it was in the first half. Obviously, change of tactics in the second half for both teams kind of made the game a lot more open. But yeah, that's my Apoel rant. Got that out of the way. Bafor, on the other hand, we should be scared. It doesn't. I don't think.
You're backtracking now. I remember a couple of years ago you were saying, "No, they're never going to do anything."
Not just a couple of years ago. I'm backtracking from 3 months ago. When I said,
I was helping you out here, man. I was helping you out.
No, don't help me.
helping you out.
I know. No, there's receipts, and I will get the receipts out, whether positive or negative.
Mr. Isle are going to win the league.
I am always want to get the receipts out, whether I'm correct or not. Same thing about Jared Montnor. I've been going on about him since Aris signed him. Same thing about Isle winning the league when they had Kevin Mirallas, because, I know about Cypriot football, guys. That's why I went on the Football Heritage podcast this week to talk about Isle.
You did?
Anyway,
You did?
and this is why I'm backtracking a little bit on what I said about Bafor, because unlike previous seasons where they had this over-reliance on Gyro, and then Gyro would kind of disappear for 10 games in the second part of the season, they've now got people to replace him when he's not performing, because he did nothing in the first half against Apoel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they took him off. You put Anderson and Correa on instead, and there you go. That's the result of that. So, and
look, you've got a friend. You got a friend. I'll be fair to Thasso. He said what he did about Buffalo before. They strengthened their defense. George, you're being too nice.
You
should be gunning him. You should be gunning him. I should be on his neck.
You are being nice, George. Thank you. However, once again, the goal that Apoel scored, was an issue with the defense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of issues.
Oh, yes.
Issues with the defense. Can we even use that kind of?
You could, depending on how the situation develops.
Well, I'm too scared to bring it up just in case my laptop gets hacked. Or
I'll tell you what. I'll bring it up.
Just say it. Just say it. I'll bring it up on the screen.
So, Sergei Lomakin, who's the Bafos FC chairman, I think, is the chairman of the board, is the CEO, right? Or he's something there anyway. He's one of the people that pump the money into Bafos FC.
He's pumped. Look at him flipping out.
Yeah, look at that.
He's been in the gym, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you what's illegal about him, those guns. But anyway, Sergei Lomakin was found to be in a list of foreign nationals who had their Cypriot passport revoked as part of
Oh
an
boy.
investigation by Politis.
Oh boy.
So, yeah, he was one of the people who invested enough to get in on the golden passport scheme that the Cypriot government had prior to stopping it. And he's made a list of people who have had their passport revoked, including one Malaysian, if people know, called Joe Low. Have you heard of this guy? Joe Low?
One minute.
JHO?
You talk about the Puerto Rican singer. She went to Thailand and had a change, and now she's
No, not J Lo.
oh.
Jeholo.
I thought the whole scandal with her ex-boyfriend kind of led her to go abroad and
Yeah. I mean, it might have done. Not anyway. The anyway. No comment. No comment. No comment. The
comment. Comment.
But yes, so Jeholo, there you go. He is a Malaysian businessman / criminal who also joined the investment scheme for Golden Passport. There's actually a Twitter account which uses him as a parody to be like, oh, Anastasiadis, he's my uncle, he's my dada, he sorted me out with the passport. Anyway,
God.
so Sergei Lomakin has been included in a list which includes a load of Russians as well that are under sanctions for, the things happening in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And he is also in that list. Now,
Oh dear.
there's 3 reasons you can be removed. You can have your Cypriot passport revoked. So it's either
4.
providing false or misleading statements or documentation. What do you mean 4?
Yeah,
I've
go
got
on.
3.
Do your 3, and I'll give you the 4th one.
So providing false or misleading statements or documentation, a criminal record, or non-compliance with the terms and conditions of naturalization. What's the 4th one?
Or 4, doing a Cyprus football podcast and talking about these things.
I don't have a Cypriot passport, so I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. I can talk about these things and have
He does. He does. He does.
Yeah. He's got it. He's got it.
He's got one.
He's got a Cypriot passport. Sergei, he's got it. Now,
Under the bus you go.
So, two questions, one leading on from the other one is obviously. So Sergei Lomakin is one of the big money people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to pull out of Cyprus after this? So that's a big question. I think that's an open-ended one.
No.
You think he's going to stay anyway?
Well, listen. He will find a way to stay.
So here's my next question, which is going to be like one of those ones that if your dog anyway, the two guys that do the videos on Instagram.
Yes, I know. If quiz is quizzical and if maths is mathematical, then what are tests?
There you go. That's it. Yeah. So, if the president of the republic is a Bathos fan,
Mm-hmm.
and
I don't like where you're going with this.
if Sergei Lomakin ends up keeping his Cypriot passport, whereas the other
I
ones
still don't like where this is going.
Do I get into trouble for bringing it up in the first place? Again, here are your ingredients. Make the fajita as you would like.
Let's look at the league table, shall we?
Let's look at the league.
Yes.
Oh, look at that.
Well, Buffalo are top. Buffalo are top.
Yes.
They're 5 points clear of Ari, who sits second on 26 points. Then you have Omonia, 22 points. AEK move up to 4th on 21. Upwell, 11 games, 20 points. 6th, Arbolon on 17. Then you have Anorthosi on 14. And then you have, oh my goodness, look at this. Right on cue, Ruslan is here. Ruslan's Isle are sat in 8th on 13 points. Then you have Figo on 13 points. And then you have the rest. Cadmio Dessau, Monealadipo on 9 points. Paralimi on 8, Salamina on 7, and Omonia Kosi and Ya on 6. So Thaso, Pafo, 5 points clear. They are what? 9 points ahead of Omonia. It's looking a little bit sticky for the rest of us, isn't it? But Pedridi did say in a press conference yesterday after they announced another commercial deal, I think. I'm gonna translate into English. He said, in the end, they shave the groom.
What?
Yeah, when they asked him, they asked him about the league season and how far behind Apo are, and he just said,
It's too early. He's saying it's too early to call it, basically. But you know, Bafo, 11 games, they've only dropped 2 points. It's looking very sticky. It's looking very sticky.
Yes. Not the kind of sticky that we like.
No.
Anyway, let's move on. We've got more stuff. I've got one thing very, very quickly. And yes, the Croatian Football Federation president has come to Cyprus, and he's having 2 meetings with Kumar. Not sure entirely what it's about, but they're having a meeting about UEFA procedures, protocols, etc.
I'm sure it's got nothing to do with TV deals in America.
I don't know. Well, listen, it might not have anything to do with TV deals in the Balkans, because not that Kumar has done anything like that before.
Call back to 1 hour and 24 minutes ago.
Not sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So obviously Wednesday night is Vrionidis night. However, sadly, despite normal international breaks where some apeshit crazy things happen in the 3rd division, this time around I got nothing for you, so we can't even play the theme tune.
Nada.
We can't do it.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
That's okay. I've got something a little bit light-hearted though for you there, Tasso. Because I showed you this the other day. A photograph was kind of emerging, or it emerged on social media, and I think we might need to have a little bit of a laugh about this. Look at that.
Oh God, it's 3 days is such a long time in Cypriot football. I completely forgot about this. So seeing this again,
yes,
beautiful.
So this is it's a non-league game, and for the benefit of those listening, we see the football pitch. The pitch isn't great. Is that the halfway? It's not the halfway line, is it? That's got.
Hold on. That looks like, is that goalkeeper in green?
Yes, it's the goalkeeper and players walking. Put it this way, the only word I can use to describe the line being drawn is chemtrails.
Yeah, it's not a line; it's a circle. It's unbelievable, man. It's like who just how like
And
compared
if
to the photo that I showed last week of what non-league football is like in Cyprus. This is the other end of it.
yeah, and have you noticed halfway up that line, it's kind of veering to the right. So it's almost as if like it's like shit.
Yeah,
I'm not straight.
yeah, yeah. And then he brought it back to do it again. Oh my god. Oh,
It's like when you're
it's
coloring in when you're a kid, you're trying to stay in the lines. It's like, what shit?
oh, I tell you what.
Amazing,
And
amazing, absolutely amazing.
someone had a few too many Zivaniers, I think, before they went and did that.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Right, have you got anything else before I do my pass corner?
The only thing I've got is I'm going to self-promote once again. I did the Football Heritage podcast this week. It came out on Monday about YAAAAAAAASSSSS and their merger and the history behind the merger and how they've gone forward from that merger.
It's a
So
very good listen.
give it a listen, because we talk about Cypriot football in general as well. You know, we throw in some bits about Bafo and Anorthosi, and yeah. One thing I forgot to mention as well is I didn't talk about obviously what happened between Abuel and Omonia for when Omonia got started as well. So I thought that would have been a very good thing to talk about. But you run out of time, so we didn't manage to talk about that bit specifically. But yeah, there's all
Good
kinds
listen,
of
really
stuff.
good listen,
Yeah.
really good listen. I think he's
And
quite
listen to that.
shocked.
Yeah, listen to the podcast as well, because he picked the guy picks up on a lot of things. He spoke about what happened with Bob Guineras Beyaz in one of the episodes as well. He's talked about the first Asian player in British football and the foundation that's been set up by his family for it. You know, there's I think it talks about what's happening at Inverness Caledonian Thistle as well, I believe, and how that club's going through the ringer at the moment. Yeah, there's a few good listens, I think, a few good episodes to listen to, regardless of if you want Cypriot football or not.
There you go. Spot on. Spot on. Right. Time for PASP Corner, because PASP are doing some very, very good things for Cyprus football. And there's a gentleman who's been doing some fantastic stuff from a philanthropical perspective. And it's Merkiz. He's the president of PASP. He's achieved global recognition as one of 8 nominees for the Player Impact Award at the FIFA Pro Merit Awards. Now, this category honors players whose work positively impacts others' lives. And obviously, Merkiz's contributions, including his role as a founding member of Charity Idols. This initiative auctions memorabilia, as you guys probably know. I think he's donated about 50 shirts from his personal collection to raise funds for charities. And he's generated tens of thousands of euros over the years.
Yeah.
And there's other nominations in the awards. Onana's there. Merkiz, obviously, a player called Clock in Indonesia, loads of players from Finland, from Serbia, from South Korea, Congo. So he's doing really well.
Yeah, I think the post from PASP said it raised 40,000 euros from those shirt sales. So yeah,
that is some
unbelievable effort.
Yep. Now, next one. Bit of an interesting one here for Cypriot football fans or even Omonia fans. Spiro has come out to, let's just say, voice his opinion on the possibility of Fabiano joining the Cyprus national team for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. Now, he obviously acknowledged Fabiano's talents and contributions, but he criticised what I'd like to call a broader approach of Cypriot football granting citizenship to nearly retiring footballers. He called it a quick fix, which lacked long-term vision and planning from the CFA. And he actually emphasized the need for a structured development plan. And his concerns were listed as amateur level coaching and management in national teams, lack of technical directors and talent evaluation, an absence of scouting teams and analysts, over-reliance on foreign players and limited support for Cypriot talent, poor training facilities, and inadequate support for young players, including student athletes. Now, the other thing that he didn't mention, whether I don't know whether he decided not to mention or he forgot, the issue with the national service, which we've spoken about in the past. So on the one hand, yep, it'll be great to see Fabiano playing for the Cypriot national team. It'll be great. But at the same time, you're looking at the rest of the league. You got goalkeepers like Spoljaric. Okay, he hasn't been playing, I understand, but he can play for the national team. Panayi obviously hasn't been playing. He can play for the national team. You got Alex Sandonil, who he's playing for Mappa at the moment, but he can play for the national team. There's a lot of Cypriot goalkeepers that aren't getting their opportunities.
Ortelli.
Yeah, but how old is he though? He's 18, 17,
Yeah.
18.
Yeah. If you're good enough, you're old enough, isn't it?
Okay.
That's the thing, isn't it? Now, for me though, all right, I'm agreeing with Spiro because he's correct. It's very short-termism, especially with other players that can be picked. Fabiano is very close to the end of his career, I think. How old is he now? 36? 37?
Yeah, 36.
So he's got what? Another season and a half, maybe? 18 months?
Yeah, there or thereabouts.
So
thereabouts.
he's a stopgap. He's not a solution. He's a plaster. And it's something that the Cyprus national team has done a lot. Raufman, for instance, he was 34 when he got his debut. Yeah. You got Roberge. He was 35. He's played what, 2 games? He hasn't been picked since. You've got, but you've also Magasa. How old was he when he had his debut?
Flipping hell.
But yeah, but then on the other end of things, though, you've got players like Vincent Laban, who stayed in Cyprus for a long time, made his international debut, I think, when he was 27, something like that. You've got Spoljaric, you've got Gogic Dobrasinovic from 90s. We're talking about the 90s now. You've got players like you've got players who can qualify at the moment who are very young that nobody seems to be considering at the moment. Brown. Excuse me, sorry. And then obviously you've got all the little Charlotka. You've got all the little Charlotka at the moment, which can be pushed forward, let's say. You know, there's options. There's options, as well as obviously developing the youngsters in the league, which has its own problems. We talked about it before. National service. We talked about giving these youngsters a chance. We've talked about all of this before. But yeah. Yep.
There we go. A couple more quick things. And PASP sent a letter to the president of Cyprus and their officials requesting. Let me start again. PASP sent a letter to the president of Cyprus and other officials requesting a fair allocation of betting revenue for sports. PASP highlighted the significant role footballers play in generating betting revenue and purposes funding to support initiatives such as education and protection against addiction, doping, racism, and violence, combat match fixing, and developing dual career programs for players. They requested an amendment to the law to increase the percentage of betting revenue allocated to sports, including a specific share for PASP to fund these activities. Not a bad idea, really, with the amount of money that goes into betting and the amount of betting companies that exist in Cyprus. I mean, you have Stikima, Bet on Alpha, Megabet, Meridian Bet, Phone Bet, Into Bet, Copy Bet. Those are just 7 I can think of.
Novibet.
Obap.
Yeah, I was going to say Obap as well.
Oh, there's 9. How many more do you need?
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's a few there, isn't there?
I don't know. Anyway, one more final thing relating to PASP and us, obviously. In case you don't know, we debuted the first episode of PASP Choices today. Our first guest was Alex Polyaritz. And it's just a bit of fun, boys and girls. I sat down with Alex, asked him a few questions like, Barcelona or Real Madrid or Sonic or Super Mario Brothers or even Rihanna or Shakira, where unfortunately his camera just stopped working when I asked that question. Perhaps his other half was present, I'm not sure. But it was a really good episode. We've got another 4 to go. And we're really excited about it because PAS have been really, really supportive. We've been promoting each other's content, and yeah.
Yeah, what I will say though, I'm disappointed you didn't ask him if he wanted to start for me for Gabriel Odessa or get a hip injury for 2 months. You forgot to ask him about that.
Don't worry, I can message him and tell him.
No, he knows what he did.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what the simulation version of him did.
Well, he's a gamer, so maybe you might be able to play against him one day. Never know. Yes,
I'm gonna get my Bebizzilia team.
He's more into FIFA though, to be honest. But I just feel like buying a PS5 just to get FIFA and play against him.
No, because he will destroy me. I'm rubbish at FIFA.
Fair enough. Right, is there anything else? Anything else we missed? Nothing at all? Nothing?
No,
wow.
No.
We've done all right.
Yeah.
We've done all right. Okay. Well, that's it. That is pretty much it, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in. Sherry, give us the answer. Who was the first World Cup winner to work in Cyprus?
He's not going to tell us.
He's not going to tell us.
He's probably slipped off now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Hang about. Dear Tasso and Sell, you can have a Cypriot parcel for £200. Poor Sergei paid 5 million. Flipping hell. Bloody hell. There's a warrant being processed for Tasso as we speak. Can you extradite from France to Cyprus?
I can be.
Oh my God. Stella looks younger today. Android. No, I had to shave, bro. That's it. I had to shave. And George, again, about the Croatians. They want Gulma's advice on how to get away with being corrupt bastards. Fucking hell.
We've got some opinions tonight, boys.
Yes, we do. Brosnan says, bye, I'm off to cry in my corner. Don't worry, things can only get better.
With Sachas in charge, anything can happen.
Of course, Big Sacha.
Anyway,
that's it. Right, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, we are on Instagram and X at This Is Mappa. We're also on Blue Sky now, and we're just replicating whatever's on Twitter. So don't, if you're on Blue Sky because you're woke, then fine. If you're on X because you want to be anti-woke, that's fine. We're posting the same content on both platforms, as is Thasso, because Thasso is on at Flares Cafe.
Yeah, I'm doing all the cafes, flares, cafes, whatever. One of those, I'm on one of those on all the things. Instagram, Twitter, and Blue Sky. Yes.
Blue Sky Thinking.
Blue Sky Thinking.
There you go. That's probably why they did it. Anyway, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your comments and everything. We will be back this time next week with probably more shit. Bye.
Horse.